Hello everyone! Man, we know how much you love interesting facts. So much so that you always share them in the comments. Say no more. Here is a fresh selection of videos with answers to the most unlikely questions, like what these Vietnamese guys are doing to the pigeon. Turns out the answer is simple. This is how they check if the bird's wings are intact. Check this out. Regular beer on the left, and on the right, no, that's not a beer with Mentos. And actually, these are two identical drinks. Believe it or not, it's all about the glass. Turns out that there are special glasses made of crystallized glass that make the drink fizz and the foam not to disappear. Here's how it works. There is a special etching on the bottom of the glass. It reacts with carbon dioxide and starts the continuous foaming process. We bet that in a couple of years we'll see mugs like this in all the bars of the world. Remember the basics of social studies? One of the main features of the state is some kind of physical territory. But the residents of Wurtland don't care about such things. They believe that the World Wide Web could be considered this kind of territory too. They even have passports, as well as an anthem, a coat of arms, and a flag. Applying for citizenship is really simple. You go to the site, pay a $5 fee, and submit the documents by email. Can you guess why some rescuers need a secret pocket on the back of their uniforms? In fact, it's something like a hook on the clothes, though you need it not to hang the jacket in the dressing room, but to easily drag a teammate during the rescue operation if he suddenly inhaled too much smoke and passed out. If you've ever seen British coins, you've probably noticed that they all have something in common. Believe it or not, they are all parts of a single puzzle. Yeah, if you put several coins in denominations from 1 penny to £1 next to each other, you'll get the Royal Shield of Arms of the British royal family. This design was introduced in 2008, and it was proposed by an ordinary resident of the UK as part of a nationwide competition. You've probably heard that in the bee colony, everyone does a certain type of job. Turns out that they also do a dirty job. What you see are the Undertaker bees, who take out the bodies of their dead kin from the hive and throw them down or carry them away. In a colony of honey insects, rules are strict.
See, abortion is natural even in wildlife. Dirty little bee.
A funny fact that even many native French people haven't heard of. Turns out that in winter, the famous Eiffel Tower is 6 inches lower than in summer. Yep, it's all because of the cold.
Yeah, boy.
No kidding. In the hot season, the metal grows because it's made of steel, which expands when heated. Seems like when it comes to snakes, we're frightened not by the creatures themselves, but by their scales, because these bald guys look just adorable. Yes, turns out that this could also happen. Some snakes are born without scales. This is the result of a rare genetic mutation. The most exciting thing about them is that such reptiles live just as much as ordinary ones. Moreover, their skin doesn't get more damaged compared to usual snakes. Are you wondering how they feel to the touch too? Do you remember how Grimes wanted to create a women's commune on the moon of Jupiter? That doesn't seem that incredible when you learn that recently, Californian condor females gave birth to chicks without the participation of males.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Seriously though, this phenomenon is called parthenogenesis, and it's typical for some populations of birds, fish, amphibians, and insects. Those who believe that Santa doesn't exist, what do you say to that? No, seriously, there is evidence that this old man can really fly like a pro. In 1927, he even got a pilot's license from the US government, and in 2020, permission to deliver cargo to the ISS, because everyone deserves a holiday. You may not believe it, but the man in front of you is a real marketing genius. In recent years, he's earned at least $150,000 on insurance, a really unusual one, alien abduction insurance. This costs a little less than $25, and the damage payment is as much as $10 million. Well, there is one problem. They will pay you $1 a month over 10 million years. We know you're pretty confused right now, but that's really not what you thought it was. This device is for those who love fishing and want to make it easier. That's not an attribute for some unusual party.
Rat shields on the carnival. This is a good shot of the rat guards.
Which animal would you most likely see on a ship? That's right, a rat. But today, this doesn't happen that often, because someone came up with a simple way to scare the rodents away. These are discs installed on the mooring cables. Some acrobatic rat may be able to jump over such an obstacle, but this is rather an exception to the rule. Any idea what this thing is? It looks like some kind of torture device. By the way, this is almost true. The people who lived in England in the 19th century must have suffered a lot when using this device. Actually, in the Victorian era, some irons looked like this because folds and ripples were trendy at the time. Imagine ironing every piece of fabric with this tiny thing. Well, that's a real challenge. Did you know that about 40% of all bird species on the planet are endangered? The main reason for that is not poaching or climate change, but collision with power lines. Some guys from India have found a clever solution to the problem: reflective pendants that scare away birds and change their flight path. On average, a modern SSD drive reads data at a speed of about 700 megabytes per second. Can you guess how fast your eye sees? Well, of course, your eye is not as fast as SSD drives. It can process only 1.25 megabytes per second. This is slightly less than the size of a floppy disk, if you even remember what that is. By the way, we wonder if the speed of reading the information remains the same when a person has only one eye. This guy is assembling, a bicycle? A bike? Some kind of medieval chariot? Wrong. Turns out that this unusual device is very popular among archaeologists. It's called a magnetometer, and it's used to measure the properties of the magnetic field and the magnetic properties of materials. What you see here is not a toy, but actually a very useful gadget to test the coefficient of friction of floors. You lower this device down a special slide and the display shows the value. It depends on how far the car is driven by inertia. The higher the value, the higher the risk of slipping on the surface. Age test. Share in the comments if you still remember how you had to enter numbers and letters on the web page to prove that you're not a robot. Because in 2009, Google introduced reCAPTCHA and everything changed. Today, just one click is enough. But can't a robot do the same and bypass the system? Well, not really, because reCAPTCHA analyzes not only the data entered by the user, but also the movements of their mouse and even their browser history. That's a great thing, as long as you're not asked to select images with a traffic light or a car. It seems that any robot can cope with this task better than a human.
Guys, I'm losing my voice right now. I have been doing this for like 10 minutes. Crosswalks. Everywhere there's a damn crosswalk. Wait 5 minutes to load some more pictures. Oh great, now it's
You will never guess what this is. That is the Pearl of Puerto Princesa, the world's largest natural pearl. It weighs about the same as a 10-year-old child, 75 pounds. Yeah, you'll hardly want to wear this one around your neck. At first glance, it looks like just some kind of pile of dirt or rock, but actually this is a truly unique thing, a volcanic bomb. This is the name of a lava lump that solidified after being ejected from the crater of the volcano. Such lumps are dangerous only when erupted and can hit a person or a building, but after some time they no longer pose a serious threat. A life hack in case of a sudden romantic situation. Turns out that a slice of cucumber or celery can fix bad breath just as well as powerful menthol chewing gum.
I'm Pickle Rick!
This is because these vegetables increase saliva production, so just hold the slice in your mouth for a minute and you are ready. Have you ever been told you walk in a weird way? If so, just show them this video. Turns out that ants and some other insects use an alternating tripod type of movement. That means that when walking, half of their legs move and the other half stay on the ground to serve as support. If you are a real movie fan, then you'll surely recognize this place. You can see it in the movies like Julie and Julia, Amelie, and Paris, I Love You. But the funny thing is that this station can be seen only in the movies. It's been decommissioned for many decades and is used exclusively as a film set. However, anyone can rent it if they don't mind spending 20,000 euros for a measly 5 minutes. You've probably heard 100 times how smart dolphins are, but here's one fact that you may have missed. These animals don't just know how to chat with each other, they also give each other names they use when communicating. Well, this doesn't mean that now you can dive under the water, shout "Flipper," and a new friend will immediately come to you. The names of dolphins, like the rest of their speech, are based on special whistling. A human can't actually recreate it yet. You could see these small flashes on the plane wing through the window. Admit it, you thought that the plane was on fire and about to crash, right? Well, don't panic. In fact, they appear on the top of these discharge rods, which remove an electrostatic charge, which inevitably accumulates on any aircraft mid-flight. Imagine you order your favorite burger, take a bite of it, and suddenly you see a real chip. Just don't think that we're promoting any conspiracy theories involving Bill Gates here. It's just that in most modern industries, animals are microchipped. Not only cows and pigs, but even fish. This helps the workers to get useful information. For example, the milk production of cows. Of course, meat with chips in should not be on sale, but anything can happen. If you're not good at physics, then get ready. Now you're about to see something magical. Actually, the fire casts no shadow, not because of the magical abilities of the girl holding the match, it's just that the flame is not an obstacle the rays of light need to form a shadow. Do you know what seals and cats have in common? A sixth sense, or rather, vibrissae, which help them navigate in space and are irreplaceable for hunting. In fact, these are mini radars that provide animals with all the information on what's happening around them, the size of objects, the distance to them, and even their smell. If you ever come to the North Pole, you may see a scene like this. Even those who are not particularly impressionable will get chills from seeing this, especially when you consider the reason why these walruses so recklessly rush down and break on the rocks. Alas, the reason is global warming. Usually walruses don't climb that high. At best, they get on some kind of ice floe from which they can safely jump into the water. But today, ice floes are just replaced by rocks, and animals simply don't realize that it's risky to fall from heights like that. Well, you definitely learned some new stuff today. Don't forget to give us a like and don't miss the next video. Guys, some bad news. Seems like we're already living in the Black Mirror universe.
Dad got my money when she was young.
Yes.
See this QR code? Yeah, that's right. This is a tombstone, and the code will take you to an archive of photos of the deceased.
You're looking at one of the new interactive gravestones. As you can see, it doesn't look a lot different than a traditional one, except for this small QR code. It's just 1.5 inches square. And all you need is a smartphone in order to view all the content. You just download a QR reader or scanner app like this one on your smartphone. Then just scan the app right on the gravestone, and it'll take you to a link where you can access an interactive memorial page that includes a biography, guest book, even audio clips.
Not a bad idea, but still makes you feel a bit eerie. The guys who came up with this doll clearly don't know what a female navel really looks like. Any idea why this beauty needs such a weird thing on her belly? Well, meet Tressie, a doll from the 60s. Back then, she was a sensation on the market, all because you could change her hairstyles. You just needed to pull the hair to make it grow, and then you push this weird button and the hair wound back in. Like this video if you also enjoy popping these bubbles. Of course, this isn't just anti-stress. First of all, this film is a packaging material, but we learned something shocking and want to share it with you. In fact, bubble wrap was originally intended not even for packaging, but as 3D wallpapers. They are supposedly very convenient to clean. Sounds strange, right? That's why this idea didn't quite catch on. Well, you definitely learned some new stuff today. Don't forget to give us a like and don't miss the next video. If we delve deeper into the SCP Foundation archives, we'll find protocols no one has seen before. These are stories of people who were unfortunate enough to encounter the most anomalous SCP objects. Eerie creatures in dreadful places. Few remained alive to tell the tale. But these chronicles will reveal what you definitely did not know about these objects.